Alright, welcome back to another episode of the Fast Break Lip NBA podcast. Your boy Samuel here. Got Kev with me here. Kev's back. Kev, say what's up to the people.
Good morning, good evening, and good night.
Alright, it's been about a week since the trades opened up. We had the draft this week. We had free agency open up over the weekend. So there is a lot to talk about, and me and Kev are going to break down some of the most important free agent signings, some of the most important trades, some draft picks where they landed, talk about how it impacts certain teams. The format I kind of want to go with here is we're going to talk about contenders, then like who we expect to be like middle of the pack playoff teams, and then we're going to talk about teams towards like the bottom. So of course we got to start with the Lakers, defending champions. They have made some noise in free agency. They've decided to improve their roster somehow. They were able to improve their roster from last year. So some of the moves that they've made, trading Danny Green and the number 28 pick for Dennis Schroeder.
Not surprised. Danny Brick.
I feel like that was facts. I feel like that was a solid move.
Probably their best move.
And then when free agency opened up, they signed Wes Matthews to a veteran minimum deal. Solid shooter.
Solid veteran for sure.
Definitely takes the place of Danny Green right there.
Yeah, hopefully he can make some jump shots.
Then they surprised everyone when they signed Montrezl Harrell for 2 years, $19 million.
Now, I know it's not a KD situation, but in terms of LA, isn't this like a KD situation?
Not necessarily. This is more of like he was a double agent, sort of. Because I don't know if you peeped after the Clippers series, some news started to get leaking out about what was going on in the Clippers locker room. And
yeah, I saw that one.
And everybody was wondering, like, who is the source of the leak? And I still think to this day it was Montrezl Harrell. And I knew ever since then that he was going to get out of there.
You think so for real? Think he was
because he didn't
information leaking?
He didn't get along with Paul George, and then he didn't get along with He didn't get along with Kawhi, I heard, as it seems too. So
that boy wanted some shine.
Facts. And Pat Bev, he tweeted out, he was shocked.
Nah,
he was like,
that had me weak. He said, "Yo, what?"
You can hear it in your head how he said it too. You were like, "Yo, what?"
And you could tell that he didn't speak to nobody about it. It was something sneaky. He was like, "You know what?" And I think the reason why Pat Bev is most surprised because he's like, "Wait, hold on, the Lakers though."
Facts. That's the ops.
Where like you going
the ops.
You going next door, bro? You going next door though? Like you gonna leave and go next door? I gotta see you. Like I want to see how it's gonna work out. You gotta see them every once in a while. I know they're gonna look at him a little differently.
They were shocked. I heard
that. I'm shocked myself that out of all people, he wants to go play with LeBron. You know, I'm surprised.
Clutch. He's clutch though, so that's not a surprise to me.
Oh, okay.
He's clutch. That's why I've been saying he's a double agent.
He's clutch. Lie. Rich Paul is changing the NBA by himself, bro.
That man is devious.
Yeah, he's changing the NBA by his dolly, and no one's saying a word to him. No one can say a word to him. He's changing the NBA on his dolly right now. I even know that Montrezl was signed there. But that caught me off guard too. I ain't gonna lie. I think that caught everybody off guard low key.
It did. And it was kind of like a move to replace Dwight, because Dwight earlier in the day, he had originally tweeted out that he was returning to LA, but then he deleted it.
Yeah.
And then he went to the Sixers.
Dwight doesn't surprise me with anything he does anymore. So
I mean, he got his chip, so I mean, he could go wherever he pleases at this point.
Technically, no one can say nothing to him. He's a champion, so congrats to him. I don't like that he did a little Kyrie thing, you know. I'm staying, bro. I'm staying, and you know, but it's Dwight, so it is what it is.
And I heard with Montrezl, he had an offer from Charlotte. I heard that was more money, but he decided to take less to go to LA.
That boy want a chip.
Facts. I can't blame him at all.
I ain't
Also,
mad. Mm-hmm.
also with the Lakers today, they managed to. Oh, actually, yesterday KCP re-signed for 3 years, $40 million.
Yeah,
So I kind of expected that.
He came up big for them in the finals at one point, even though he was bricking at one point for sure. He had that little, what was it, a few stretches of bad games until he finally
Facts.
turned up when it was needed. So shout out to him. Congrats to him.
And then today they made some moves. They traded JaVale McGee to the Cavs for Alfonso McKinney and Jordan Bell, who will probably both be waived most likely. And they decided to use the space, the financial space, to sign Marc Gasol. So Marc Gasol is a Laker now.
That's a good sign. And I ain't gonna lie, I was talking about it earlier. This might be LeBron's best like actual team in a long time, if not ever. If not ever.
Better than 2016.
2016 was who? That was
Kyrie,
K-Love.
K-Love, JR, Shump, Richard Jefferson, all them boys.
Yeah, I'm talking, cause when I'm speaking on team, I'm not talking star power, etc. I'm talking just team in general. I'm talking names. I'm talking about bench. I'm talking about depth. That team has some, because they still have Kuzma. They got Dennis now.
Yeah, their 9-man rotation is pretty solid. Like you got Dennis, Kuzma, LeBron, Wes Matthews.
Not to mention
AD.
Oh yeah, come on, yeah. I almost forgot about him. But their small ball lineup is about to be nasty.
Most likely.
Because with AD and Montrez out there, then you got LeBron, you got Dennis out there with either KCP or Kuzma. That's pretty nasty with the small ball lineup.
With Montrez though, defensively, AD is probably gonna have to pick up the slack for him because Montrez can't close games. That's one thing for sure. He can't close games because of his defense.
And I thought, what's funny? I thought he was a good defender.
Nah. The playoffs definitely showed opposite.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe with AD in the back, he might be influenced because he was playing behind Zubac. So
Zubac, yeah.
Maybe with AD there, it might spark him to play more defense. I don't know what's going to happen. When people play with LeBron, all of a sudden they get new badges.
Attribute boost. Yep. New badges, attribute boost, everything.
New badges, everything. They get new VC. They start getting new tattoos. Everything,
Facts.
bro. Everything. Facts. So I don't know if he's going to turn into one of those. If he does, that team is really dangerous right now. I could see them being number one in the West once again. I can't lie, especially with Clay being injured again, which we will talk about later, I guess. Yeah, but I could definitely see. I don't see any reason for LeBron not to go number one again. Like literally to be the number one seed. Because if he took the last team he had as a number one seed, this team probably going to be the best team in the NBA. Possibly.
Moving on to the team that they beat in the finals, Miami Heat. They've done some shuffling of their deck a little bit, some retooling. They brought back Goran Dragic and Myers Leonard on some pretty solid deals. Dragic made sure to get paid 2 years, $37 million with a team option, I think it is, on the second year. Same thing with Myers Leonard. He got paid I think it's 2 years, $9 million per year, I think it is. So he got paid too, I guess, to be an excellent cheerleader from the bench. Who else? Who else did they sign? They also picked up Mo Harkless and Avery Bradley on some deals. So they managed to replace Jay Crowder, and they added someone who can guard point guards, because I think that was their main issue last season, was they didn't have anyone to guard the point guard position, because a lot of teams would pick on Goran Dragic. So adding Avery Bradley gives them a player that can defend point guards, and he can also hit some threes occasionally as well.
And they also add, you said Mo Harkless, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mo Harkless definitely he's a versatile defender. So
yep,
I could see him and Jimmy being in the game, and Jimmy could say, "Okay, you go get the small forward. I got the point guard." Sometimes,
facts.
So that's going to be that's a big signing for them, especially defensively. They got some good defensive players back on that defensive team already. So
facts.
Not a bad pick. I mean, do I see them going back to the finals next year? I ain't gonna say no. because they managed to make it this year. So I ain't gonna say no.
Facts.
But with the Nets around now, yeah, we're gonna see.
We'll talk about the Nets because I spoke with Ajayi on a previous episode about how I feel about the Nets. I'm not all that confident in the Nets, but we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Next team, free agency wise and offseason wise in general. The Milwaukee Bucks.
All
right, so they did manage to trade for Drew Holiday.
That was actually a weird trade to me.
And the thing is, the trade actually expanded to being a 4-team trade, which included the Steven Adams deal. That's how Steven Adams ended up to the Pelicans. They were added to that deal as well. The Denver Nuggets were also included in that deal. That's how they got RJ Hampton in the draft, which I feel like is going to be a solid pickup for them.
Talk about RJ Hampton. You saw that little thing that happened between him and his family in the draft?
No, when his dad took the hat and threw it?
Yeah. Yo, weak. That had me weak. His brother pulled it out. He's like, hold on.
Wrong hat.
I don't know. That had me weak though. Cause I didn't watch the draft completely. So seeing that little clip definitely made my day a little bit.
But yeah, Denver was included in that trade. They picked up RJ Hampton with the pick. I feel like he's another solid. He's another one of those young players that they're gonna take a risk on, and I feel like he's gonna end up doing so well for them, just like MPJ and Bol. The Nuggets just have the framework to make those type of moves, and I that's why they've become one of my favorite teams to watch over the last couple of years. But the Drew Holiday trade is complete, so Drew Holiday is on the Bucks. Eric Bledsoe is in New Orleans, and they actually plan to keep him, which is weird because they have a lot of point guards.
Yeah.
George Hill ended up going to OKC in the trade instead of going to New Orleans.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm actually, as an OKC fan, I am okay with George Hill on my team. A good veteran to have.
The team is, I don't know.
Don't talk about my team right now. We're going to talk about them later. Please.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the Bucks. So they managed to get Drew Holiday. And then early on when the trades were being announced, later that same night / morning, because it was like around like 2 a.m. that the news dropped, they also managed to get Bogdanovich, but the trade the trade completely fell through at this point now.
Like, I heard that.
Yes, and you know what happened? Here's what happened. So basically, I think it was Milwaukee had leaked it out to the reporters or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Bogdanovich never agreed to sign with the Kings and then be traded to the Bucks. So that whole thing fell through because like they'd never told him. So
I'm confused. Never told him what exactly?
Because when you agree to a sign and trade, the player has to agree to sign with the previous team that they are on, and then have to agree to be traded to the other team.
Okay.
Yep. So he had to agree to sign with Sacramento and then have to agree to be traded to Milwaukee. They never discussed it with him, and they just thought it was just going to be okay, boom. And it just fell through. And now Bogdanovich is on his way possibly to Atlanta, who we'll talk about in a few minutes.
And you know what's crazy? It's crazy because they've been trying to get Bogdanovich for a while.
Yeah, since last year, I think.
I've been hearing trade rumors about him going there for a minute. So now that happened, it's like, whoa. But
yeah, this had me weak because that was not the only thing the Bucks managed to fumble in the offseason. So basically they had they made a deal with Pat Connaughton, but they had to restructure the deal because it didn't go with, it was just, I don't even want to go back on Twitter to look for the post, but they messed up. So basically they had to recoup from not getting Bogdanovich. I feel like they managed to do okay. They managed to get Bobby Portis, former Knick. Glad he's not back. They managed to get DJ Augustine. They also managed to get Bryn Forbes and Torrey Craig. So they managed to fill out their bench depth just a little bit more. And I feel like the team is a little bit better than last year's team, but I feel like all in all, Budenholzer is still going to screw this team over in the end when it matters the most.
Because as a coach?
Because he sucks at playoff rotations. He refuses to play his guys max minutes when they're needed. He's going to end up playing like Bobby Portis during crunch time, and they're going to lose in playoff games. I just feel it. That's how bad Budenholzer is as a coach.
Man, that's tough.
But like, if I'm Giannis and I'm seeing the way my front office has fumbled these off-season moves, I'm like questioning: do I sign the Supermax? Like, sure, this team looks a little bit better on paper, but like, are we gonna go as far? Are we gonna be another second round exit again? Like, so many questions he has to answer.
What Drew Holiday now? I don't know how much the dynamic changes. I know he's a great defender. I know he's a team changer.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I mean, okay, let's say Giannis gets a jump shot this year.
Hopefully.
Which I think he will, because he's been shooting way better than I thought he would last season. So let's say he gets a jump shot. What else is going to change in that team is the question. Like, what's next? Is something missing? I don't know. Just the way they fumbled the bag in the playoffs was like a wake-up call. Like, hold on. This team that's the first seed is not as good as we thought they were.
And that Supermax extension is on the horizon. And if he doesn't sign it, then they're in. Oof.
Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna.
Honestly, with Giannis, I feel like with his game, for it to evolve, he just has to get like a post game and like a little midi. He doesn't need to go the whole 9 yards with the three, because it's not necessarily necessary. If he has a post game, it's harder to stop him, because right now all he does is like a bunch of line drives to the basket, and that's much more easier to stop than like actual post moves and a mid range jumper. So I don't know.
I see him shooting next year way better though. I do. I feel like he's a hard worker. And I definitely seen a change in his jump shot as the year went on. So I feel like he will get a jump shot eventually. I think his IQ has to improve as well. But otherwise, he's definitely a beast. He could definitely get MVP again. I'm not sure if he will get MVP again. Very possible he could get it again though, because what he does in that court is,
might be Steph or Luka this year.
Depends on Luka. Yes, Luka. Yeah, we have to talk about the Mavericks a little later too. But yeah, so that new Bucks team looks kind of weird, but let's see what happens.
It's better than last year's.
Do I see them being first seed again?
Probably, because they go all out in the regular season
for some reason. So
because that's how Budenholzer is. That's why no one understands why he's still coach.
So maybe they might go number one. Maybe they might go number two. As I said earlier, I got my Nets going first seed. If all goes well, at least second or third. But if not, I could definitely see the Bucks. Otherwise, let's see if Giannis is gonna get a jump shot. Let's see if Brook Lopez is gonna play up to, I don't know how exactly. I don't know if they're gonna keep that coach. They might just keep him. I thought they would fire him after that, especially being the first seed, but I guess not. They want to keep him. So best of luck to them. Let's see what happens,
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Boston. Oh, man. Boston, they ended up losing. So here's the thing with Gordon Hayward, right? Mm-hmm. He opted out of the $34 million. Then there was talks of him possibly doing a sign and trade with Indiana. Here's where everything went wrong. Danny Ainge decided to be greedy. When Danny Ainge makes a trade, he has to fleece the other team. It can't be a win-win situation for him. As you saw with the Kyrie trade with Isaiah Thomas, he obviously won that trade. Mm-hmm. Again, with the Brooklyn trade, he fleeced the Nets, of course.
Oh, he did them dirty.
Yeah.
That trade did them dirty. Oh, my gosh.
So when he does a trade, he looks to fleece the other team. With this trade with Indiana, he was trying to get Miles Turner and TJ Warren or Victor Oladipo.
Oh, yeah. for the injured Gordon Hayward?
Yes. And Indiana was like, no, we'll give you Miles Turner and Doug McDermott. And Danny and I guess none of the sides were willing to budge. So out of nowhere, Michael Jordan, being Michael Jordan, decides to overpay and gives Gordon Hayward 4 years, $120 million, fully guaranteed. And we'll talk about Charlotte towards the end of the show, about like why this move makes a little bit of sense for them and why they had to overpay. But on Boston's side, they end up losing Gordon Hayward for basically nothing now. So
first off, First off, Hayward for Miles Turner would have been okay to begin with.
Yeah, they need a center.
That's what I'm saying. They don't need Gordon Hayward, bro. I'm not going to sit here and say he's holding anybody back. No, Gordon Hayward had some great games. He made that team better when he played. You could see his effect on the court. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, if I'm the GM, obviously you need Miles Turner more than you need Hayward, respectfully. And Miles Turner is that defender. I ain't going to say he's the best rebounder. He's not the best rebounder, but he's a stretch five at that. So, you're not really losing too much in the three-point department. He could shoot the midi. Not to mention, he could probably get better, For all he's getting better as a player. So I don't see why. And he's younger. He's younger than Gordon Hayward, too. So it's like, you're not really losing the situation. So for him to get greedy like that was stupid. That was a dumb move. I mean, are the Celtics going to burn crazy? I don't think they're going to burn a lot with losing him. But it depends. I don't know what rookie they drafted. Did they draft any good rookies this year?
Celtics, they picked up Aaron Naismith, solid shooter, but he's got this foot thing. I don't know what's the full extent of his foot issue. They also drafted Peyton Pritchard. He's probably going to be like a third string or a backup point guard.
So Naismith is... Continue.
He's probably... Actually, Peyton Pritchard's probably going to be third string because they picked up Jeff Teague. And... who else did they draft? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I think that's all they drafted.
And Naismith is a kid that hit 93 threes out of 100, right?
I'm not sure.
I think I saw a little post that said that one of these rookies, and I believe it's his name, he managed to hit out of the 100 threes in a combine, he hit 93. So that's on some stuff time.
I know he shot like 50-something% from three in college, but he only played a few games because of the foot injury.
I mean, either way, that kid's a shooter. I'm hearing he's a shooter. So, that's the case. I could definitely see him being in our lineup.
Probably.
That's definitely Tatum's team. So,
for sure. Shout out Jason Tatum. Actually, got 5 years, $195 million extension today. So shout out to him. Definitely deserves every single penny of that.
To make it clear, to anyone who knows me, Jason Tatum is actually my second favorite small forward in the league. So. I don't want to.
That's one of my top 5 players in the league.
Definitely
one of my top 5 favorite players.
For sure. That's my second favorite after KD. So shout out to him. I'm proud of him. I've seen this max contract coming. I think he deserves more money. He's definitely the future of the league. Definitely the future of the league. I think he might average a nice little. I could see him averaging 26 to 27 points this season coming up. Probably a little. I could see 9 rebounds, 8 rebounds, and probably like 4 or 5 assists. So let's hope for the best. Shout out to Jason Tatum. Congrats to him.
And they also signed Tristan Kardashian. 2 years, $19 million.
Now when it comes to him, he gives me Dion Waiters vibe sometimes. Cause he be very iffy. Like he dated a Kardashian, number one. Two,
got one pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you forgot already? They have a whole kid.
I forgot, and then they have a Kardashian curse too, so I don't know. I hope that doesn't affect the Celtics in any type of way. He's a good rebounder. He's a great, probably one of the better offensive rebounders I've seen in the modern game. So
got out rebounded by Steph in the finals, though. Can't forget that. So he can have his lapses.
Steph Curry is that man, though. Shout out to him. But Tristan Thompson, I think he can work out for them. As a
he'll be better than Cantor. I know that.
Yeah, I was actually hoping that Taco would develop too and get some more minutes. Hopefully they got something in plan for Taco because, he's not, I don't think he's a bad player. I think he could be in the NBA. I don't think he's that slow for his size at all either. So let's see what happens with him and his development. Otherwise, Cantor, I mean, he's not bad. He played good in the playoffs though. So that Celtics team still got their core. Minus just Hayward, so let's see what happens now. Do I see them in the playoffs? For sure. Definitely see them I see them being let's put them 3rd seed. I could see them 3rd or 4th seed for sure. I don't think any team is gonna playoff wise. I ain't gonna say finals, but definitely a finals threat for sure. Especially with the way Jaylen Brown developed, definitely a finals threat.
Yeah. Let's stick in the East with the 76ers. They've had a pretty good offseason. After criticizing them all year, they got rid of Al Horford. And they managed to do it for like basically nothing. They got Danny Green. Maybe he can get some shooting, get his shooting stroke back. Help space the floor for Simmons and Embiid. The Sixers also managed to get they traded Josh Richardson for Seth Curry.
That was a weird trade, but I can't deny that it wasn't a bad one, especially the way Seth shoots. He's a great shooter. His last name is Curry. You know,
he could do some stuff off ball too.
Yeah, and then Jason was more of a of course. That's the thing. Jason is more of a on the ball player to me. So now with Seth being off board, him and Ben should have some fun together. That should space the floor for Embiid more. Embiid is not a free agent, correct? He's still there.
Yeah, he's on his rookie extension right now.
Okay, so yeah, Embiid's still there. We just gotta see if Ben gonna shoot next year, and that'll be the big game changer for them. But otherwise, that was not a bad move for Seth Curry and another player.
And Danny Green. And then they also drafted Tyrese Maxey, who I think is gonna be the steal of the draft because I watched him all year at Kentucky. Great player.
Oh yeah, he nice.
Great on-ball defender. Gets after it. He didn't have a great year shooting at Kentucky, but all his other years, like in high school and like in Nike EYBL, he's had like solid shooting numbers. So it's possible that the year at Kentucky was an outlier year. So he can probably get back to shooting pretty well. Also, he can do some stuff off the dribble. He has an excellent floater game. And they also picked up another good shooter in this draft. One of the best shooters in this draft, Isaiah Joe. Another player who could shoot off the dribble, do some off-ball stuff as well. I mean, Sixers really... Daryl Morey is a smart man, unlike Elton Brand, because he knows how to build the team correctly around Ben Simmons and Embiid instead of clogging the paint with Al Horford and giving him so much money.
And as you can see, Elton Brand is a center in NBA for anybody who doesn't know. And he was probably thinking, oh, it's the old days. Let's go play like the old times.
Yeah,
and you got to realize...
historic.
Yes. But on that note, actually, we stay in the East, so I'll address it later. I'll address that point later. I was going to talk about the Pelicans, but we're going to the West later, so.
Yeah. So I think the Sixers, they had a pretty good offseason. It's only a matter... I think their success will really hinge on, like, the cohesion of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And if Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers... If Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers can, like... utilize both of them with all the shooters that they have around them now to the best of their ability, then I feel like they'll have a solid chance of winning the East.
For sure. Well, winning the whole East, maybe
they have it. They have it in them. I think they have it.
We're gonna see what happened when it comes to that. I'm kind of surprised that Ben wasn't moved anywhere, especially with all the speculation throughout the season.
The thing is, I think with Daryl Morey, he wants to see if this can work between Ben and Joel, because this is his first year with these guys, and this is the first year with Doc Rivers, and he wants to see how all of these new pieces will fit together.
Doc Rivers is there. Okay.
It doesn't make sense to move a piece before you even see how it works in your new system.
Very true. That wouldn't be fair to Ben either.
Yeah, it wouldn't. You got to see how he fits with all these guys, and then you can make a decision of, okay, then if Ben's not working here with this system, then maybe it's time to move on from Ben or Joel, like either or. So,
either way, I mean that's an interesting team. Now let's see. The East is changing. How about
Facts.
time? East is getting better. Am I gonna say better in the West? With KD over there, we gonna see. Especially we gonna see what's up with that. What's the next team now? There's one team I'm excited to talk about.
Next team we got is Toronto.
Oh, not the team I want to talk about. Kyle Lowry, yuck.
Yeah, you gotta chill. I might have some Raptors fans listening, so not chilling that.
For the
Kyle
Raptors
Lowry.
fans listening, I'm sorry you have to have Kyle Lowry. Let's continue.
They love Kyle Lowry up there.
I know they do.
I don't blame him because he does all the dirty work and like
for sure.
But anyways, Fred VanVleet went back to Toronto, 4 years, $85 million.
I think he deserves everything that he's getting over there, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty solid. I mean, he's part of the future plans with him, Pascal, OG Anunoby, and whoever they have else going forward. So I feel like that was a solid contract.
For sure.
Who else? They actually were not able to keep Serge Ibaka or Marc Gasol, but they did sign Aaron Baines to a 2-year, $14 million contract.
Calm.
Yeah, he's going to be solid for them. And they also re-signed.
That's the one that gets dunked on a lot, right?
He does, but he also plays pretty good defense. And
he had some good games with the Suns, right? Yeah, I remember him.
He had like a game where he hit like 8 threes for the Suns. So
wow.
Yeah. He's been working on that 3-point game since he got to Boston.
I remember when he was playing for Ayton and he was having a great week, kind of a fantasy. He was in fantasy and he was having some great games.
Oh, yeah, I remember that week in fantasy.
Yeah, he was having some great games. So let's see what happened on Toronto.
They also re-signed Chris Boucher. I think he's probably going to get those backup center minutes now, most likely. And who else did they sign? They signed DeAndre Bembry like a couple minutes before we started recording, actually. So he's a solid wing defender, playmaker.
Can't shoot, but I guess he'll work out somehow.
Yeah, I mean he'll probably do like the little things that
he's like a smaller Rondae Hollison to me.
Possibly. But yeah, well, Toronto, they are going to be playing in Tampa this year because Canada is not allowing them to play. I guess have the teams visit the arena and whatnot, so they're going to be playing in Tampa. I don't know if they'll be as good as they were last year because they obviously lost some key pieces. I think they'll still be a playoff team though, for sure. They might be like a 5 or a 6 seed this year, but
their coach is a great coach, so I could definitely see them. I could definitely see them continuing to be in the playoffs.
They might surprise us this year. So
do I see them in a finals? No, I'm sorry, Toronto fans. No, I don't see y'all in the finals, but I do see y'all at a nice little, probably a little 6th seed. I could see y'all being 5th seed, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, or who knows? Maybe they might surprise us. Who knows? Maybe. Pascal has a year better than last year. OG Anunoby steps up and whatnot. So there's a lot of moving pieces.
Pascal owes them some good games. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, he was struggling in the playoffs, but hopefully he'll get back to how he was earlier last season because he started off last season really well.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I remember that. I had to go trade for him in fantasy after that. I remember he was having he having some great games.
And to finish out our Eastern Conference contenders, Brooklyn, of course, they didn't really make any significant moves besides just re-signing Joe Harris for 4 years, $75 million.
He deserves all of that.
That's a lot of money for a shooter, though.
He's no. And I think you're not giving him more credit than he deserves.
I don't know, man. I feel like this is like 2016 all over again, where teams have to pay their guys to kind of stay, and like in 2 years it might like backfire, and they might have to like trade them because like
the thing is, you calling him a shooter.
I know he's not just a shooter, but like that's what he's going to be mainly used as in Brooklyn, especially with KD and Kyrie back. I mean, that's mainly what he's going to be. He's going to be used in a similar role to like JJ Redick, most likely.
Because he does definitely, watching him play, I thought he was just a shooter, and then I watch him play. He makes layups, he gets rebounds, he hustles. So I think he deserves it. Joe Harris has been one of the low key players on my radar. I've been watching play. I like watching him play in general. I think he's a great as a role player. He's a great role player. I could say that for sure. Definitely a great role player. So shout out to Joe Harris. He deserved it. He came from the G League, which is why I respect him so much.
Yeah, he had to grind to get where he at. But
yeah, he came for his contract. Yeah, he came from the G League where he wasn't. I don't think they even make a mil sometimes, and now he's getting a 4 year, $75 million. Shout out to Joe Harris. I hope the Nets. Like I said, I see my Nets being. When I say my Nets, we are from Brooklyn, so do not be upset with us. When I say my Nets, so in general, I could definitely see them being first, second, third seed. Only reason why I won't say first seed is because it's their first year all playing together. So I can't sit here and promise, I don't see them like immediately just clicking. But I feel like as the season goes on, that they will earn their way up in the rankings. Do I see the Nets in the finals? I mean, we have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. So
I'm just me with the Nets. I'm very skeptical on them because
Kyrie.
No, I have nothing against neither Kyrie nor KD. People feel like I do. I don't know why. Those are two of my favorite players to watch in the league. I mean, they on the enemy because I'm a Knicks fan. They're on the enemy team, so
Damn.
I'm not supposed to really care about them, but they're two of my favorite players to watch. A lot of basketball success relies on chemistry as well as defense, especially when the playoffs come around. And we saw with a title favorite last year with the Clippers, their calling card, quote unquote, was defense, but Montrezl Harrell and Lou Wills were getting ate up on that side of the ball, and they had no chemistry. And I feel like those are going to be two of the main concerns for the Nets this year. And that's my only thing with them, especially and leadership. I mentioned it with Ajayi on the Nets episode that we did. I said, where's the leadership going to come from with this Nets team? Because KD and Kyrie never had to be themselves the leader. With KD, we saw what happened when he was the leader. With KD, in Golden State, he didn't have to be the leader. So both those guys, where they've had success, they never had to be a leader. And now the leadership is going to be kind of thrust on them in a way. So that was my main concerns with Brooklyn. And we'll see how it plays out this year. But that's how I feel about Brooklyn.
Well, me being a Kevin Durant fan, he did once say he doesn't care for being a leader. He just wants to play basketball.
Yeah, so I know that's the quote Jai told me as well. Like,
so him saying that, do I feel like he will step up? I think as a veteran on that team, because KD's a veteran by now. As a veteran on that team, I feel like KD might step up. I can't sit here and say he will. I don't see Kyrie stepping up, but I can see KD possibly stepping up, especially seeing that he is the best on that team. Otherwise, the only other leader I could see on that team, I feel like Dinwiddie is very vocal. So if he wants to be a team leader, I could see that happening. DeAndre Jordan, I don't know. I don't know about him. One thing I could say, otherwise, I am happy we did not trade for James Harden. I hope that trade does not happen. I hope Harden.
I'm glad you're on that same page because I just don't understand why would you give up depth and sacrifice all that depth for another ball handler when you already have a whole bunch on your squad already that are pretty okay. Like, and why go overkill?
I was so confused because I saw like the little trade rumors. I saw Karras, Jarrett, and Dinwiddie in a package. I said, hell no.
And then when you look at the Drew Holiday deal, the Bucks had to give up, I think, like 5 picks. Yeah. Imagine what you're gonna have to give up to get James Harden. You're gonna have to give up like 10.
Bro, that Drew Holiday trade was iffy because not only did you give away Eric and George Hill, you gave away picks.
And then if Giannis leave and Drew Holiday leaves because they're both expiring contracts, basically, you just lost all. You're screwed.
Yeah, so he's just hoping Giannis actually stays, hoping Drew wants to sign. Like, that was such a stupid trade to me on the Bucks side. Don't get me wrong. Drew Holiday is a great player. He's a great point guard, one of the more underrated. I feel like every NBA player says he's the most underrated player in NBA, and I agree with them. But was he worth all of that? No. I don't think he was worth Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, and picks. Maybe Eric Bledsoe and George Hill, but those picks too? No.
Maybe not that many picks. Maybe you would have to give picks away because that's what David Griffin would want.
Yeah,
in return for
that
his
much
two-way
picks
guy.
For Drew Holiday, that's a no-no.
In their defense, I would say that it's kind of like giving up those picks for Drew Holiday and Giannis if Giannis is going to stay. So you don't need those picks in a sense. So that would be my defense for them. Going off the Bucks though, and going off the Nets now, because let's go back to the Western Conference. We still got a couple more contenders. Clippers. We talked about them.
Hold on. There's a team in the East we didn't address that I want to address.
What team is that?
The Hawks.
I want to talk about them as regular other playoff teams.
Okay, all right.
like hope or playoff hopefuls.
Okay.
Because I have a whole section for that too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So going on to the Clippers, they lost Montrez, they lost JaMychal Green. So their big man rotation is looking a little skimp. They did make a trade on draft night. They traded Shamet to the Nets.
Oh.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that talking about the Nets.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
I guess we could talk about that a little bit. The Nets do gain another shooter off ball.
And Shamet was he a rookie last year?
Nah, that was his second year, I think, last year.
I heard he had a few bad bricks, but I feel like that's a great signing for the Nets. That was a great pickup.
Yeah, he didn't have it all together in the bubble.
Then again, it's a bubble, and it was a change. Like, at the same, I understand, like, it's less distractions, but it was a change of scene for a lot of players. For example, like, you don't have a crowd. So I'm going to cut all those bubble players some slack. I'm going to cut everyone slack because it was a change of scene, especially when you're used to playing in front of crowds for your whole life, you know? So I'm going to cut them some slack. But Shamet, prior to the bubble, was actually a great role player, a great shooter. So the Nets getting him makes them very more dangerous, especially. Him and Joe Harris in the game going to be very distracting for the other teams. Very distracting.
And with the Clippers in that trade, they managed to get Kennard from the Pistons, so they kind of replaced Shamet with Kennard.
Okay.
So, but with the thing with Kennard though is the knee injuries. It's been a constant issue, and I think some people from the Pistons sides were probably concerned about it. So the Pistons also had to give up 4 second-round picks to get off Kennard. So
sheesh.
Yeah, that's what's troubling about with Kennard. The knee issues, maybe they might show up again when he's on the Clippers. But yeah, the Clippers, they got Kennard. They managed to get Ibaka to replace Montrez. So I feel like that's an upgrade within itself.
Yeah, Ibaka is a defensive player of the year.
He's not.
Candidate. I'm sorry.
He was a defensive player of the year candidate in the past. But I mean, those days are behind him now. He's more of a stretch big. So he kind of helps their offense a bit more, and he helps their defense with like rim protection and whatnot. And what else? What other moves did the Clippers make? I think that's it, actually. Yeah, that was it for the Clippers. They didn't make much moves.
Well, they got rid of Doc Rivers.
Yeah. And I heard they're looking to sign Markieff Morris to reunite him with his brother. And I think they're also looking for a point guard, and I've seen some rumors about a possible Terry Rozier trade.
Yeah, definitely need to get him out of the Hornets.
Yeah, especially with LaMelo Ball there now. But I don't know if Terry Rozier is that guy. Terry Rozier is kind of a chuck. He's had that reputation for a while now, especially when he was in Boston. That's why he didn't get along in that locker room, because he was a chuck. So I don't know if that's what the Clippers want. If Kawhi says he wants high IQ basketball players in that locker room, I don't know if Terry Rozier is the move for him. Again, with Kawhi had the perfect situation in Toronto, I feel. Like, it was the perfect roster for him. He didn't have to be the leader. All he had to do was just be the guy to score and play defense. On the Clippers, I feel like they're asking him to do so much more than he wants to do. And like, Kawhi wants the type of players on the Clippers that he had in Toronto. So he basically wants the Toronto Raptors in LA weather. And
which makes sense to why he got Ibaka. Okay.
Yeah. So he's like trying to like recreate the magic of the Raptors a little bit by like getting like pieces either similar or exactly like that team. But you probably should have stayed in Toronto, and we'll see if it was worth it by the end of this upcoming season. It's officially a month away till the season kicks off. So we'll see. Oh, another move, Marcus Morris, they decided to keep on a 4-year, $64 million contract. So
he was definitely a good pickup for them, so I can respect that.
Yeah, and I'm glad my Knicks were able to get a first-round pick for him. So
about time the Knicks got something.
We're gonna talk about the Knicks soon. I mean, I feel like their offseason was pretty solid.
Yeah, for sure.
What other team we got? Portland. Portland had a great offseason.
Oh, yes, for sure. For sure.
So to start things off, they sent a pick to Houston with Trevor Ariza who got moved around like a spliff this offseason, by the way.
Oh my gosh. They cite Trevor Ariza this week. That Trevor Ariza pack was bussing this week. That pack was bussing. I ain't never see someone get past,
They moved him around like Luke Ridnour. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago when Luke Ridnour was just getting moved from team to team. He got moved by like 5 teams in a week. Like,
bro, literally,
like, jeez.
I know Ariza's week. He was waking up. Okay, I'm going here. Oh wait, hold on. News just came up. Hold on. Like, bro, Ariza was literally the NBA spliff this week, bro. Like,
bro, Sunday he was on the Blazers, and then Monday he got moved to Houston, and then Detroit, and then Detroit on Wednesday, and now he's in OKC as of Saturday. Like,
bro, they're playing patty cake with him right now, bro. Like, I ain't never, the amount of teams he just played for, he played. Poor Trevor Ariza, son. He's just a veteran just trying to play basketball, and they just keep, I'm sorry, Trevor. I'm sorry as a man that you have to go through that. I feel like mentally is like
that's straining on him.
I think, mentally, like, nobody wants me, bro. Like, like nobody wants him. I swear to you, after that 0-for-12 game, his whole career just dun dun dun. Like, bro, that was so like when he went back to the Rockets, I was weak. I'm like, hold on, did they just take him back after that 0-from-12? Then they said, nah, Juju, and they sent him. Nah, I'm sorry, Ariza, I'm sorry. Do you deserve this? Maybe. I don't know if you deserve it or not. But as a man, I hope your mental is okay. I feel like you will find a team. Maybe you won't. You shouldn't have went 0-from-12. That was not acceptable at any level. But good luck to you.
Well, going back to the Blazers, they managed to get Robert Covington for Ariza, which I feel like was a steal. Steal. That's a steal.
Easy steal.
The one thing the Blazers have needed since they got rid of Mo Harkless and Aminu was wing defenders, and he fits that bill, and he could shoot the three pretty decently as well. Also with the Blazers, they got, what else did they get? They got Derrick Jones Jr., another solid possible wing defender.
That's a jumper right there. That's a highlight reel right there.
Facts. Then they also re-signed Melo.
And shout out to Melo for staying loyal to those who are loyal to him. I respect that, because he could have. I feel like other teams would have wanted him, despite nobody wanting him prior to the Trailblazers. So shout out to him.
I respect it, and I heard rumors of him possibly coming back to New York, and I was like, Melo, please don't do that to us. No. The Knicks are trying to go all in with the youth movement this year. They just want to sign solid vets to surround them. Melo, I want you to compete for something more. A lot of people would have laughed. They would have like, haha, the Knicks signed Melo back because they couldn't get anybody. It would have been the same old stuff.
I'd have been weak if he came back and he made a Melo town again and started throwing up bricks or something. That would have been hilarious to me.
And then the Trailblazers this morning got Harry Giles for a steal. They got him on a veteran minimum deal. I feel like if Harry Giles could stay
a minimum,
veteran minimum.
Wow.
Yup. Steal of a deal. Because if he stays healthy, he can really help their front court lineup. Because right now it's Nurkic and Kanter. Both aren't really well defensively. I feel like Giles is an upgrade defensively. He's a good playmaker as well.
You know, it's funny. Prior to his ACL injury, I think people forgot that Harry Giles was definitely he was the number one. He was about to be a number one
pick in that draft if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forgot that about him. So let's hope for the best. I only hope for the best for all of these players. I don't like seeing no one injured. I like players playing their best basketball. So
facts.
Let's see what happens with that. For sure.
Let's move on to some regular old playoff teams. Teams I don't think maybe they have a chance of contending, maybe not.
Well, when we talk about I already know you think of my OKC, but if that's who you're addressing right now, okay.
Nah. First, we're gonna start off with the team I think that's made the biggest jump this offseason, which is the Phoenix Suns. They traded for Chris Paul. They traded Rubio and Oubre and Ty Jerome and Jalen LeCue Rubio's on his way to Minnesota. Oubre's on his way to Golden State. Tyler Jerome is still there. Jalen Leclerc is on his way to Indiana.
I thought Jerome was at OKC, but I guess not.
Jerome is, but Jalen Leclerc is on his way to Indiana now because they traded him for TJ Leaf.
Oh, they're not keeping him? Wow. Oh, wait, TJ Leaf coming to OKC?
Yeah, but TJ Leaf is
They
whack.
love them UConn kids. For
some reason,
UCLA. OKC love them UConn. I'm sorry, UCLA kids. They love them UCLA. And
but
UConn.
yeah, TJ Leaf is a whack. He owes his whole NBA career to Lonzo Ball making him look nice. That man owes Lonzo Ball a cut of his check.
Funny enough, he was also an All-American. So
because of Lonzo Ball, Lonzo Ball made that team look good. He should not have been drafted.
In high school, I believe.
All-American high school, he was?
I believe so. I remember him being pretty high. Maybe I could be bugging. I do recall that. But let's see if he gets better. I like to see players get better. Maybe not. Only hope for the best, like I said.
Also with Phoenix, they got in the draft Jalen Smith. I thought it was a pick too high to take Jalen Smith. I thought he was a solid player in college at Maryland. Great rim protector, great athlete, could spread the floor. He's a big guy, so he'll probably be backing up Ayton maybe at the 5, probably playing some minutes at the 4. They also signed who else did they sign? They signed Jay Crowder. I feel like that's solid for their depth. They signed Damian Jones.
I saw the politics behind that too. I remember because remember when Booker dropped
Devin
70.
Booker 70, and then Jay Crowder had that thing. But Phoenix is gonna be a tough team in the West.
The fact that they won those tough games in a bubble shows that they're improving. So and they went on a win streak. Nobody beat them. So
yeah, 8-0.
8-0. So let's see if that
Suns. Suns, I don't know. I feel like they could probably be like maybe if everything goes right and Chris Paul is healthy, like they could be like probably a top 4 seed in the West, possibly. 4
One thing I can say for sure, if Chris Paul managed to get that OKC team into the playoffs,
he could definitely get Devin Booker and Ayton into the playoffs.
Yeah, no questions asked. Ayton is I think a lot of people forgot about Ayton, but he's definitely a problem. He's definitely one of the top, not a top center.
He averaged like 20 and 10, and he's improving. So it's like
him and Chris Paul, Ayton's gonna have the best.
Gonna be nasty.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna have the best year of his career right now with Chris Paul. I could say that from now.
Devin Booker is gonna benefit from not having to dribble all the time, having the ball in his hand so much.
He gets to go off ball now. He gets to save some energy. He doesn't have to be as tired. Meaning, we're gonna see a whole different Devin Booker now. He has a veteran, if not one of the top point guards ever to play. If not top 10, top 5 point guards to ever play, Chris Paul and his team now. So,
facts.
Let's see.
Phoenix is going to be one of my teams that I'm watching on League Pass or whatnot.
I'm definitely going to tune into this Phoenix games for sure.
Next team, we're going to talk about Golden State. Unfortunately, Klay Thompson tore his Achilles. Bro, when that news broke, I was like sad, like legit sad. Because you know me, I've been going for Steph and Klay since like
for years,
even before they were contending for real. And to see Klay rehab 17 months off the torn ACL, didn't play basketball for 17 months, and then have to have that opportunity robbed of him. It was just like, man, I feel for him because I know he mentally that can be so tough on him. Like he was just getting prepared to come back and play, and then boom, it's taken away from him. And Klay's one of the toughest players out there, and to see him just go down like that is crazy.
That was sad when that news broke. That was very, I know, to the Warriors' confidence is like, damn.
Yeah.
Not our Klay. I hope for the best recoveries. He's giving me John Wall vibes now because now he's gonna be gone for 2 years. So,
yup.
Now the thing is, he will always have his value because once you're a shooter, you don't need your legs as much.
Yeah,
but he doesn't have to rely on athleticism unlike other players do. So, and he's very skillful. So I feel like Klay will manage to come back. I hope for the best. I think he will come back.
And I just want to address some of these weirdos out there, especially the ones on Twitter, yo. As soon as the news dropped, they was like, oh, Steph got to prove himself. It's like, bro, why is that the first thing y'all think about? Y'all think about Steph failing as soon as his teammate gets hurt. Like, that is so weird to me. Like, Steph got nothing to prove to nobody at this point. 3 titles, 2 MVPs, unanimous, back-to-back. Like, they just want to see him. They want to see him struggle like some of their players have and drag teams to the playoffs. Sorry, it ain't happening. The Warriors front office, they know what to do. They made some moves. They drafted James Wiseman. I didn't necessarily think it was necessary for them to draft a center, but they drafted him. Hopefully it works out for them. They traded for Oubre, who's gonna fill that secondary option role, I guess.
And let's not forget, Oubre was having a great year before that injury. Not the best year, but he definitely had a way better year than he did in. Oh yeah, his best year for sure. Because the Wizards,
that was his best year. He was averaging like 19, shooting like 35% from 3, playing excellent defense. So he's gonna fit right in with Golden State. Golden State also managed. Over there. True. They also managed to get Brad Wanamaker, the former Boston Celtics backup point guard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he'll back up Steph.
Damian Lee, shoot.
Damian Lee is there for nepotism, I swear. He's only there because he's Steph's brother-in-law. Yeah, I guarantee that.
His minutes about to drop tremendously.
And then they also signed Kent Bazemore, who was there as a rookie, and he used to do all the bench celebrations, and now he's a better player. So
they got him and Wiseman.
Yep, and we have yet to see what else. I mean, free agency, most of the free agents are being signed now. Most of them have been signed, so it's a matter of like who else they acquire. I think they still have some veteran minimums they can give out, or like I think they have the disabled players exception they can use because Clay is going to be out the whole year. So they still have some ways to improve their roster. So I think the Warriors will still be a solid playoff team if everyone remains healthy. Everyone else who's on the team remains healthy.
Yeah, I definitely see them back in the playoffs with stuff around. I feel like I don't like the disrespect the Warriors got as a team, but I feel like everyone just seems to forget who the Warriors are, and they will be back in the playoffs if Steph remains healthy and that team remains healthy. So for everybody who is a Warriors hater, I'm sorry to break it to you. Now, am I a Warriors fan? No. Actually, to an extent, kind of, but not the biggest Warriors fan. I don't sit here and, scream Warriors all day. But I definitely have been a Steph Curry fan for a long time, so I do like seeing the Warriors play.
You just appreciate and respecting the greatness, like some people just can't do.
And I actually do love Stephen Curry as a player. I did watch him before his MVP season, so I do have a great respect for Stephen Curry and the player he is. I feel like he gets too much disrespect as the point guard he is. So shout out to them. I do see the Warriors back in playoff contenders. I don't see them being, top 5. I can see them being 6th, 5th, maybe. See what happens.
Probably.
So yeah, let's see what happens with them.
Utah's probably gonna be the same as last year, probably. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell, got his bag, 5 years, $195 million as well.
Congrats to that boy.
Jordan Clarkson's back with Utah, 4 years, $52 million.
Sheesh.
Derek Favors is back.
Surprising. Oh wait, he left the Pelicans and went back.
Yep, he went back to Utah, 3 years, $30 million.
He obviously missed him.
Yep. So I don't know what else is there to say about Utah. Utah is going to be the same. A lot of teams in the West got better, but they've kind of stayed the same. So I don't expect much out of Utah. Probably another first round exit, possibly, depending on the matchup.
And they were supposed to win that. Funny enough, they just could not guard Jamal Murray.
Yep.
Couldn't guard Jamal Murray. Happens. You can't guard Jamal Murray.
Happens.
That's what happens. Murray's a monster. Definitely stepped up. He embarrassed the Jazz to me. He completely embarrassed them. So let's see what happens next.
Oh, some signings I forgot to mention earlier. Dwight to the Sixers. We kind of spoke on it a little bit.
Now we said
Probably
that
just be
earlier.
a backup role. Yeah, but he'll be a backup for Embiid.
Great backup.
Let's go on to what other team we got here? Dallas. Dallas was in the running for Marc Gasol. They did not get him, so they kind of re-signed Willie Cauley-Stein. They did make a trade where they got James Johnson from OKC, another person with assault record. Dallas likes to have those people. Same with Miami. Miami loves those type of people too. Kendrick Nunn. But they made a trade. OKC got moved to Ariza got moved to OKC in that trade, and the Pistons got DeLon Wright. Justin Jackson also got moved. In the draft, they took another free agent signing they had was Trey Burke, 3 years, $10 million. On draft night, they acquired Josh Richardson, as we know. They drafted Josh Green. I like that pick, and they drafted another shooter to surround Luka in Tyrell Terry, who I wanted the Knicks to draft, but they decided not to. So the Mavericks picked him up.
Mm-hmm. The Mavericks, did they get better? I could say they
sort of. They surrounded. I heard one of their objectives going into the offseason was to surround Luka with some like tougher guys because they didn't want him to get punked like he did against Marcus Morris and them in that first round last year.
Well, yeah,
this year, I mean,
they definitely got a little blacker. So,
yeah, they did. They definitely did get a little blacker.
They got a little blacker, I guess. So,
they made sure to get. I don't. They made sure to get James Johnson. So.
Oh yeah, they gave him a security guard. Oh yeah. they gave Luka a security guard, and so I see Mark Cuban is finally being a little open to taking.
It's like time to get my black on.
Yeah, he said, "You know what? Black Lives Matter." So I'm gonna give Luka some. Maybe give Luka a little 1-2, and give him some black people to surround him around. Luka is gonna be a monster next season. Definitely gonna have an MVP season. Definitely gonna be MVP conversation. I don't see him getting worse. He's nasty. Definitely could be. Maybe, I'm not gonna lie. Stats wise, he could definitely be the best player in the NBA. I'm sorry if y'all think I'm dragging it or not. Y'all see what I see. Y'all saw what I saw. Luka is definitely gonna be an MVP candidate. The Mavericks will be a top 5 team seed to me.
Especially I hope not.
I could see it. Luka's.
I hope not, though.
Luka's nasty. Luka's nasty.
I hope not. Porzingis is going to be out to start the season, though, so that's one key thing. Remember, he had the meniscus surgery over the off season.
Yeah, we don't see how that.
We'll see if he can stay healthy. Luka has his ankle issues he deals with throughout the regular season. I'm just hoping that they don't do well this year because I know the Knicks have their pick in the draft next year.
I'm weak.
I'm just hoping every other team in the West goes crazy.
But for sure, Luka is going to be just don't be surprised, y'all, if y'all see that man get an MVP next season because he's just nasty. He's literally having a better career than Michael Jordan already, stats wise. So I just want you to take note of Luka greatness. I'm on a Luka train, as you can hear. I'm on a Luka train. He's that man. Luka's that man. Respect Luka. That's all I'm gonna say. Respect Luka.
Let's go on to Denver. So they lost Jeremy Grant.
Yuck. Where did he go?
Detroit.
Wow. Why?
And here's the thing. So the thing is, Denver offered him the same contract that Detroit gave him, 3 years, $60 million. The thing is, he wanted a bigger role on offense, I guess. So I guess Detroit was promising him that, and that's why he's going to Detroit.
I was going to say a nasty joke, but I ain't going to say it.
What was the joke?
Nah, forget it. But I guess that was a good signing for Detroit.
But yeah, Denver, that's going to be key for them because he was a versatile defender. He could do some stuff off the dribble. 3 and D. Like,
he was actually guarding LeBron pretty well. He was playing great. At one point, he was carrying them in that third quarter. I forgot what game that was. He was carrying them.
Well.
I thought he would have stayed there, especially, wanting to be a contender. The Detroit Pistons have, I've heard, one of the most toxic offices in the NBA right now. So
I think they changed up their front office, though. It's a new guy up there.
Okay, good.
It's someone that used to work for OKC, actually.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And OKC has definitely been one of the better organizations. So I am upset they stole whoever they stole from us. I'm not sure.
Troy Weaver. I think he was the one that was responsible for the Westbrook pick.
Yeah. I mean, congrats to the Pistons for taking a great.
We're gonna talk about the Pistons because I gotta clown them later because what they did this offseason. Anyways, Denver, they managed to sign JaMychal Green from the Clippers. Solid. He's a solid, like
very
solid 4 guy. Could play some small ball backup 5.
Can he make it for Jeremy Grant? Maybe.
Nah, probably not. Definitely not.
Is he a better shooter? Maybe slightly, but otherwise we won't see.
They also re-signed Paul Millsap. 1 year, $10 million deal.
Calm.
I ain't
mad at that. He had a great playoff series, so I ain't mad at that.
And that's about it for Denver. I don't know if Denver really improved that much. Though.
Denver didn't have to improve.
I feel like because they didn't keep Jeremy Grant, that's what kept them from not improving.
To be honest, they didn't have to improve because now what they're seeing, now they have Bobo, now they got RJ. Now they got.
I don't know if RJ Hampton's going to play that much because Mike Malone's kind of tough on the younger guys, giving them a chance to break out. Really.
Well, we'll see depending on practice. But Murray is on the road to break out and have a top 5 point guard season, based upon his player performance. Murray, people are actually saying he's better than Westbrook. I can't be mad at them for saying. I can't be mad at them for saying that. But depending on how Murray comes out next season and how Jokic keeps up his playing, definitely a playoff team. They're a playoff team. I'm sorry, they're a playoff team for sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
A playoff team. Do I see him in the finals? Potentially, depending on what happens to the Lakers, because the Lakers is very nasty right now. Did they get better? I feel like
if they kept Jeremy Grant.
Yeah. But JaMychal Green is not a bad player. Very athletic too, so maybe he might be able to fill some shoes. But I feel like Murray is on the roll and on the way to a breakout season based upon his playoff performance. I think his confidence is finally up there, so we're finna see what happens with that team. But I ain't gonna count them out. I feel like a lot of people counting them out, and that's not the thing to do with this team right now. So let's see what happens.
All right. So this next team, the next team I pick, you're trying to go toxic, or you're trying to go like optimistic, like future team on the rise, or whatever.
Toxic.
Houston.
Woo.
Houston has been the topic of conversation in NBA circles, and it's been hilarious on NBA Twitter about the Rockets. Like, their owner is cheap as hell. I've seen Rockets fans saying they wish they had James Dolan instead of this guy.
Oh my gosh. Not Dolan.
Hey, listen, Dolan is a lot of things, but one thing he ain't cheap. He'll pay. He paid Phil Jackson $60 million to ruin the team. So that's one thing James Dolan is not. But Tillman Fertitta, he is cheap as hell. Russell Westbrook wants out. Is he going to get out? Doubt it. Nobody wants him. The last I've heard is that they're trying to get him they're trying to trade him in a John Wall centered trade.
That makes me very angry.
The talks have stalled.
Thank God.
Nobody wants John Wall. Knicks fans, as soon as they've heard that Russell Westbrook is even slightly available, or like the Knicks would be slightly interested, Knicks fans are automatically turned off by that. Can you blame us? No.
Well, the fact
Bro, we're not that desperate. We're not that desperate.
The fact that the Knicks don't want a former MVP just goes to show Westbrook's point. And it's so crazy.
His value right now
it's so crazy because when you look at the stats, you're like, damn, why wouldn't someone want Russell Westbrook? And then you look at him actually play, you're like, damn, why would you want Russell Westbrook? First of all, that man he's robbing these teams for money with his play. He's robbing them with his contract, because not only is he not able to shoot, he's like, I'm sorry, I have to say it again, he's working on dunking with his pops. So
I'm weak. Now that is one of the funniest off-season videos I've ever seen. So him and his pops throwing lobs.
Yeah. I mean, he has a kid. I thought he would play better for his kid. He didn't. So don't get me wrong, I am an OKC fan. I love Westbrook when he was there, but he's just toxic to any organization he goes to at this point. Just toxic.
Or is it James Harden that's toxic? Because according to I can't even speak, an article by The Athletic, Austin Rivers was not happy there. He opted out of his deal. He's a Knick now. He'd rather be on the Knicks than play with James Harden. According to him, I believe, or a source that talked to him, James Harden missed a free throw, and because Austin Rivers was standing by the sidelines, I believe, he yelled at Austin Rivers for distracting him. I found that to be hilarious. Like, that man is so toxic. He blamed a whole other person for him missing a free throw.
That's actually hilarious. That's hilarious to me.
But yeah, PJ Tucker didn't like his doesn't like I think either his contract situation. He's unhappy with the team. Eric Gordon's not been happy with how he's been utilized in the system by the team.
Here's the thing, right? The obvious is nobody wants to sit around and watch Harden dribble.
Pretty much.
Whole shot clock. That's what it sounds like, is that all the players there say, I want to play basketball. I don't want to watch Harden play basketball.
That's a fact.
And that's what it sounds like. Literally, all of them are saying, yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Harden, I respect you. You're nice. I don't want to sit here and be here for another year of the Harden show. Is it going to be another Harden show? Well, I mean, Mike is gone. So I don't think it was going to be the Harden show again. Hopefully, maybe not. But with Mike gone, I feel like that's one of the main reasons Harden wants to leave, because, I feel like he loved Mike's system. I get to dribble all day and, go get free throws.
No one could tell me something. Nobody could tell me nothing.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the bigger reasons why he wants to leave. Now, I'm sorry to do this to address the Bron-sexuals. Now, don't get me wrong, LeBron James is definitely, if not the best player of all time, the second best player of all time, right? So the Bron-sexuals to make you happy, kind of how I get. But just because, and I have to say this on the podcast, just because Russell Westbrook and Harden wants to leave does not mean they're running. Does not mean that Bron is chasing people from the West to go to the East, okay? They just want to leave the Rockets, okay? So please stop that narrative, please.
Oh, yeah, I hate that narrative. Like, everything, I hate that about LeBron fans.
Please,
they make every single thing about him.
That is so annoying, bro. That narrative. And then y'all was sitting there and just address this other narrative, talking about, KD's recruiting Harden. First of all, Harden went to the front office and said, I want to go to the Nets. Number one. Number two, your Bron fans, I have not seen y'all address how good that Lakers team just got. That Lakers team is just nasty right now. So if anyone wants to recruit anybody, please shut up. Just shut up and please shut up and just
it's not basketball. Even like no one's running from the smoke or nothing. Well, maybe Harden is running from the smoke from just the Western Conference in general. Who knows? But like no one's running from LeBron. Like teams just want to be better. That's it. So that's all teams are doing. Teams are just building to get better.
Please stop this. Oh my gosh. LeBron is so nice. He's making them run. Come on, bro. These are grown men. I don't feel like they're running. They just don't like their teams anymore. Stop that narrative. It's not cute. It's not realistic. Stop it, bro. Just please stop it.
So Houston, they did do some moves in
giving away Covington.
Huh?
Giving away Covington, basically.
Besides that, they got Christian Wood from Detroit.
Oh, they did?
3 years, $41 million sign and trade. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually, to me, Christian Wood was definitely one of the upcoming. Yeah, that's big for them. That's
and
big.
They also signed Sterling Brown.
That's the kid from Pistons? No.
That's from the Bucks.
Oh, wait, that Brown kid from the Pistons went to the Nets, right?
Bruce Brown, yeah.
Yeah, he was actually a good defender too. Yeah, the Nets got some more depth. Damn. Whoa. Yeah, the Nets got some depth. Yeah, first seed they body. I'm sorry. The Nets got some more depth in that team. Because Bruce Brown, I watched him play as a Piston. I actually had him on fantasy. That's why I know about him, by the way. And he's actually a good defender. And he was actually at one point, I think he got, he had one triple-double. But he was having some good games with the Pistons. So shout out to the Nets once again. They just got nastier. I actually got to go use them in 2K now. When I finish this podcast.
Yo, on 2K, bro, they're nasty. I was using them online.
Wait, they got Jeff Green. Wow.
Jeff Green inconsistent. I don't count Jeff Green as when Jeff Green is on, he's like, all right, but like Jeff Green be on and off, so it's like you ain't getting the best of him.
That Nets squad just got wow. Damn, they got nasty. They got very nasty. Okay.
See how they put it all together, but who we talking about? Houston?
Yeah, back to Houston.
I don't know.
Back to Houston.
Houston is so toxic at this point. I don't even know if it's really gonna work altogether. Because, like, especially with the way the reports came out, it sounds like no one else in that locker room wants to be there. So it's like, what are they going to do?
They need to see how that new coach goes about coaching.
Yeah, I feel like they need to give him a chance. But I heard, I was watching a clip from All the Smoke with Steven Jackson and Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. They were talking about James Harden and Russell Westbrook, why they want to, like, get out. They feel like they weren't included in, like, the hiring process of the new coach and the new like GM and whatnot. So they feel like they don't know the direction of the team. They don't feel like the team wants to include them on like future moves and whatnot. So like it was just a matter of them not being included. They want out.
And I heard via Shannon Sharp and is this Skip? I think it's Skip Bayless. I might be wrong. But via Shannon Sharp, they said how they definitely said that Harden was upset about the Mike being fired and he felt like
he left. Mike left.
Oh, he left. Okay, sorry.
But it all, you know what it is? It all goes back to the owner.
Yeah, and I feel like as Harden has all rights to want to leave because let's not forget, how y'all gonna build a team around Harden and not ask for his input?
True.
That makes zero sense. That can never be LeBron. Literally, that can never be LeBron. And
fact.
For Harden being your MVP, literally being a face, the Rockets were nobody before Harden. They were nobody after Tracy McGrady left. They were nobody. Yeah. So for y'all to get Harden and treat him like just a player and not like, that's a mistake on y'all part. I feel like if they don't trade Harden or Westbrook and they lose in the free agency, that whole team is gonna have a nasty downfall incoming. That they're not gonna it's gonna be nasty. So I don't know what's the next move. I feel like the next move is to try and force Russell Westbrook out of that place and see
where.
And that's the question. Where the hell do you place Russell Westbrook?
A lot of people were like, okay, Russell is probably gonna get traded to Charlotte. But then Charlotte made the move of drafting LaMelo Ball and then getting Gordon Hayward. So it's like you don't even need Russell Westbrook at this point. And the Knicks, they've decided to go all in on the youth movement this year. So it's like they're not going to trade for Russell Westbrook, especially not mortgage their future. They're trying to acquire assets at this point. They're not going to give away anything. So you're not going to get him there. So it leaves the John Wall trade, and that stopped. So you're going to have no choice but to have two unhappy stars coming in on training camp. And I just don't know what it's going to do for the Rockets.
That chemistry is going to be disgusting, number one. That locker room is going to be toxic. It's, Russell Westbrook, his ego alone. Now you're going to mix Russell Westbrook's egos with his emotions that he doesn't want to be there. No.
Yeah, it's just a recipe for disaster.
Not to mention, I don't think Westbrook or Harden want to play with each other at that. You're gonna force them to play with each other again. No. Do I see them in the playoffs? I can't say nothing until I see.
Yeah, I can't say anything until I see what happens with the rest of the team formation and whatnot. Like, it's a weird situation over there in Houston. If you're a Houston fan, God bless you. Y'all weird anyways, but
Houston, y'all
kind of deserve this anyway.
Houston, y'all got a problem, and y'all deserve that problem. So yeah. Continue.
All right, let's move on to some up-and-coming teams I think are they could be some playoff hopefuls this year. We got Atlanta.
Woo.
Atlanta is on the come up.
I was excited to talk about them because their offseason was probably the best.
It's one of the best up there. Yeah, it is.
Their offseason was nasty because not only did they find Trey a backup point guard, they added a stretch 4 to the mix. They added another draft pick to the mix.
Onyeka Okongwu.
They also come on. They're doing great as a team right now. They have Clint there now with John still there. They got Gallinari possibly starting and coming off the bench.
I think he starts with that contract they gave him. 3 years, $61 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're not paying for all that money for someone to come off the bench.
Yeah, not to mention they kept Kevin Huerter. He's still there. They still have
Cam Reddish.
Oh, he has to improve. Frank Visions.
He did improve towards the end of the season, at least.
Mm-hmm. Frank Visions, keep your eye out on Cam Reddish. I think he might have a break. Nah, I ain't going to see no breakout season. But he might step up. They still got Hunter, that young rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Rondo is big...
Yeah, go ahead with Rondo.
Rondo is going to be a big plus to Trey's career.
Possibly, if he's locked in the regular season, because he has a tendency to not be locked in during the regular season.
But
I like the addition.
Definitely could see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like the addition of Chris Dunn.
Oh, damn! Another backup. Wow.
But
so Trey Dunn would not be as tired.
Dunn is more like a wing. A wing. He could be like more of a wing because he's like 6'5", 6'5", 6'4" .
I didn't even know he was that tall as a guard. Damn.
Yeah. And he's a solid defender as well. Mm-hmm. So
definitely a solid defender for sure.
He's gonna help Trey in that backcourt a lot.
Hold on, wasn't he like the 3rd pick in the draft?
He was like the 5th pick, I think, a couple of years ago.
So yeah, like 3 or 4 years ago. To step. He has to prove himself because that's a bit too high for what he been.
The Bulls basically just let him walk.
Damn. I hope he lives up to his expectations, but he was definitely high in that draft. I remember him being pretty high in that draft, so he definitely has to live up to something. He has something to prove, so he better step it up.
Bogdanovich, possibly, he signed the offer sheet with the Hawks, and Sacramento has 48 hours to match, so time is ticking to see if Sacramento matches. And if not, Atlanta is going to be an offensive fire.
Woo!
It's going to be ridiculous in Atlanta.
I'm watching these Hawks games. They got
for sure.
I definitely could see the Hawks pushing in with that team at a 5th, 6th, even probably, if lucky, a 4th seed. Because that team... Based off how Trae Young was playing, and now that he has that, like the amount of help they got him within 1 year is crazy. That team could be very dangerous, depending if Trae Young could be that point guard that they need him to be. Let's say his numbers will decrease. I don't think he will average 29 and 10 again, but we don't know.
For sure not.
We don't know. We don't see.
Probably, but yeah. With the Hawks, I feel like the pressure was gaining on them because they saw Luka in the playoffs and they made the trade Luka for Trey. So they want the ownership, it probably feels like, okay, we need to showcase how Trey looks in the playoffs. So this trade doesn't look as bad as everyone keeps saying that it was, because everybody was praising how Luka was performing in the playoffs and they were like, yo, like Luka's the future of the league and whatnot. And meanwhile, Trey's at home. And that's the guy that they traded for Trey. So they now have to show what they have in Trey. And now they've surrounded him with enough pieces to get a decent playoff seed. They could probably be like 6, 7, 8 seed, possibly. I think so.
Yeah, I gotta see what's up with that.
Yeah, the pressure's on.
So yeah, I'm gonna tune into some Hawks games. I hope for the best. I think they might be a playoff team. I think it depends on their coach as well. I believe their coach is decent though.
Lloyd Pierce.
He's from the Warriors, right?
No, actually, he was on the Six. He was a Sixers assistant, I think.
Oh, so I don't know. We got to see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah,
you got to see what happens.
Next team we got is Memphis. Memphis didn't do much in free agency. They brought back a lot. They brought back some of their guys like Jonte Porter, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. They brought back D'Anthony Melton, solid backup combo guard, defender as well. Who else did they sign? They made they made some trades to acquire some picks in the draft. They drafted pretty well this year. They drafted Desmond Bane, solid shooter. They got him with the 30th pick. I forgot who else they drafted though. Let me take a look here real quick. Grizzlies.
Oh yes, the Warriors also got that Nico kid who's pretty good. I forgot to mention him. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he probably won't play much for them though.
Hopefully he does. He's pretty good.
They might put him in the G League for a year. So they got Desmond Bane, solid shooting guard. I wanted the Knicks to get him. They got Xavier Tillman. He's a really good big man, but he went like pretty low in the draft because like he's older, and you know how the NBA teams are. They just have some odd reason they don't pick older guys, even though they end up coming in the league and playing well. And everybody's like, "How did they slip so far?" It's like, cause you just didn't pick them, like, cause you have age bias. Yeah, and then they picked up Killian Tilly on a 2-way deal. I really like Killian Tilly as well. He just had injury problems at Gonzaga, and that's what made him slip in the draft so far. He's a solid power forward who can shoot and space the floor. I would like to see him get some real minutes in Memphis, but I don't know if they will give it to him. They'll probably keep him in the G League for most of the year, but who knows with the way this season is with COVID and teams traveling. Who knows? Maybe someone gets sick and then boom, you have to bring some guy in. He can play. I don't know. Maybe Memphis fights for that 8th seed again this year. I don't see them being in the upper echelon yet with the other teams. They still got a ways to go.
Or some trades to go.
Probably, but they do have a solid foundation of what to build upon. So now we're going to get in the disgusting zone. Teams at the bottom. Let's make fun of Detroit for a little bit. So, as you probably remember from last offseason, everyone clowned the Knicks for signing Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, Taj Gibson, and claiming that we had like 7 power forwards when that wasn't the case. So Detroit decided to build upon our model, and they drafted a center at 16th in the draft, Isaiah Stewart. Then they traded for another center who they traded away for a young player who they cut, which I don't understand. But then they signed Mason Plumlee to a 3-year, $25 million deal.
That's not too bad.
Bro, it's Mason Plumlee. And you already have like 2 or 3 centers on your roster at that point.
True.
Then they signed Jahlil Okafor. All right, so after they signed Jahlil Okafor, that brought their number to 5 centers on their roster. So how you feeling about the 5 centers?
That's a drag. In today's NBA, there's no reasons to have 5 centers.
Well, they ended up trading 1, so that was a good thing. But then they traded for a young player, which everyone thought they were going to give a chance to, and then they just cut him.
Yeah, there's a reason some teams stay in the bottom. That's one thing I have to say. There's a reason these teams do not get better, and most of the time it's because of stuff like that. Like, what is your purpose? Like, give me a good reason you need to have 5 centers on your team or 4.
Like, and then they signed Josh Jackson. I guess they're going to give him a look. So there's that.
I don't know what to say about it. 5 centers is really unheard of, bro. All of them on the lineup, and some of them going to the G League. Like, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Detroit.
Like, I thought they were gonna move Andre.
They did.
Oh, they did. I'm bugging. I am bugging. He's definitely
he's on the Cavs still.
He's on the Cavs. I'm bugging. They moved Woods. I thought that it went hard to re-sign Woods. I guess Woods didn't want no parts of that toxic organization. D Rose is still there.
And Blake,
yeah. Glass Griffin. Glass Griffin at this point because he cannot stay healthy. They got that no point guard kid. I mean,
Killian Hayes.
Yeah, he seems pretty good.
Yeah, he is. I wanted my Knicks to get him. Just went right before us.
Wow, he seems pretty good. I don't know what he's gonna do with that toxic organization, but I mean, Kennard's gone. Do I see them making playoffs? No.
Oh, of course not.
I don't expect them. No. I don't see them making playoffs next year.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I just that I don't see the direction that organization is going to. I don't see any positivity. I can't even say, oh, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for them to get this player. Or no.
All right, so Kev, let's move on to your Wizards.
Okay.
What's going on in Washington, man?
Well, I mean, I am happy we did not trade Bradley Beal for any bumps at all. Thank God. I'm hearing John Wall wants out, which is so damn rude. Because not only did you come and steal some money, John Wall, and you don't
mad money.
Don't get me wrong, John Wall. You know I love you. You know I always defend you. I always stick up for you. As you can see in the past 55 podcasts or how much podcasts we have, I've always defended you. But I am kind of upset that he wants to leave. And I'm hearing he wants to leave based upon the fact that they want to build behind Beal. Well, my man, you didn't play for 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know how you expect them to want to, keep you the star when you didn't play. And then they see you throwing up blood and sipping Henny and,
Yeah, now, they said that was the main reason why they was looking to trade him, which I was like, yo, that's wild because like he used to throw up gang signs on the court, so it's like, were they not paying attention this whole time?
Yeah, but whoa, you want out? I mean, technically, you're lucky you're still there at this point. Like,
honestly,
you got injured in your house, quote unquote. And I defend you, but the fact that you want to leave the Wizards kind of offended me to because they've been holding you down and you've been embarrassing them, and it's like you're ungrateful for. I ain't gonna say you're ungrateful one to leave. Like at the same time, they have not really got super better. But at the same, like I feel like the roster this year was decent, and with you would have been, but yeah, I feel like. When you find out that your organization wants to trade you for Russell Westbrook, yeah, nothing more to say.
Oh man.
Honestly speaking, I'm sorry. Honestly speaking, Wall, I love you. I want to see you go to. If you do leave, I want you to go to a contender, preferably the Clippers, because they need a point guard. But I don't think they can afford your contract over there. I don't know what's going to go on with John Wall in his career. I see the people calling him fat now. I don't personally like that. I definitely don't think you're fat. I saw you play some games against, I forgot who it was, and you looked
James
pretty
Harden.
good. Yeah, he looked pretty good. So I don't know. I hope he doesn't get traded. I hope he comes back with Beal and accept that second option role because it's about that time that you realize what I saw in Bradley Beal, the greatness. Because I have been a Bradley Beal fan.
That was actually one of the main reasons why he was like upset with the team too, because he found out the team is building around Beal instead of him.
I mean, come on. Well, you're definitely, and don't get me wrong, you're definitely still one of the top point guards in my eyes, especially when we're talking about actual point guards who don't make their team worse, aka Mr. Kyrie Irving. Yeah, you're definitely one of the better point guards in the league. Definitely,
I don't know. He's got to earn those stripes back because
you have a lot. Wall has so much to prove. If anybody has a lot to prove in the NBA right now, it's between John Wall and Kevin Durant. So both of my favorite players right now. So Wall, I hope you do manage to stay and play behind Beal and accept that role because he averaged 30 and he was having to the point where he had 50, 40, I think 50 again. Respect that Beal is that man of that team. Respect that, you still have to prove yourself as, even a second option at this point. And the fact that you want to leave after not proving nothing just kind of turned me off as a John Wall fan because you literally have done nothing. You just taken money and take up cap space and take a roster spot and, embarrass them and went drinking and smoking with SPMB and them in Brooklyn. Like, I'm also not happy that's your group of friends, but, like, and then, you're an NBA player, you know what you're expected to do. You apologize. Yeah.
All John Wall is good for is a calm Dougie and Cat Daddy.
I'm not going to support you on that part. But right now, you're making John Morant my second favorite point guard in the league right now. You're making him my first right now at this point because I love John Morant as a player. I see why the Memphis got rid of Conley for him. But John Wall, you're not making me happy at all. You're not. Stephen Curry is also one of my favorite, but I just can't put him as my favorite point guard. I feel like that'd be wrong. So right now, John Morant is looking like my favorite point guard in the league until John Wall decides to be that player again. And, but he turned me off a lot with that thing that's going on. So I'm going to stop talking about you. I just hope the Wizards do something this season. Do I see us in the playoffs? I actually thought our team wasn't that bad, to be honest. I didn't think our team was that horrible watching them play. I just felt like they were missing John Wall. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
They re-signed Bertans for 5 years, $80 million.
Oh, he earned that. He earned that. That's
a lot.
Bertans was having a good season. Don't forget, at one point he was definitely carrying them at one point. So
carrying.
Not carrying.
We gotta be careful with how we use that word carrying. Now.
You don't want to say carrying, but he was definitely having a great second option at one point for the Wizards. So let's see what happens. I think Wall needs to return and wake up and realize he has to prove why he earns that money. And, don't be jealous of Beal. Beal deserves everything that happened to him. You need to play behind Beal and be the CJ McCollum to his Damian Lillard right now. That's all I can say.
They also signed Robin Lopez to a deal.
Not bad. Veteran player. I don't think my Wizards, will they have a better record than last year? I think so. But otherwise, Scott Brooks and whatever, yeah, let's see.
All right, let's talk about Charlotte. They had a pretty okay offseason, I guess. They drafted LaMelo Ball.
I mean, I guess it's their best offseason in the past decade.
Probably. Yeah. And then Michael Jordan, drunk off 5 bottles of whiskey in the middle of a gambling match, decided to give Gordon Hayward a call at 2 a.m. and was like, I got $120 million. You want it? And Hayward was like, I guess since Indiana and Boston don't want to do anything.
He just had his son. At that, so I'm guessing he's like, oh yeah, my son got to eat too. So I don't know. I mean, Hayward.
The best part of all this was in his wife's like exit letter to the fans or whatever. Well, she even mentioned the fans, I don't think. But the first people she thanked leaving Boston was the police. And that told me all I needed to know about the family. And I was like, okay.
Police.
Yeah, she was like, thank you to the police department for visiting me every day.
Wow. Hayward, I think you need to check out what's going on with the police department and your wife.
That's all that was going on at the daily check-ins.
The police. Hayward, yeah, whatever's going on between the police and your wife, please get that sorted out and make sure it's clean. The police have nothing to do with the Celtics, so that's why I'm kind of confused. Are we like trying to defund them? Why you think, okay.
Yo, I was weak. Someone on Twitter was like, she took F the police way too seriously.
Yeah, bro, that's that. Okay. Okay, yeah. Hayward, good luck with the Hornets and your wife. I hope all is well. I hope. And yeah, that was weird.
But like, I think it was an overpay. Definitely an overpay. $30 million a year for Gordon Hayward. I mean, after what we saw in Boston, I mean, it wasn't $30 million worthy. I think it was a necessary overpay in a way because Charlotte is not going to get any type of other free agent way, no how. So this was their only way of getting someone who's going to like help their team. And I think it's going to do good for the development of LaMelo Ball because he's going to have someone that can create also for the team, not just him. Like LaMelo can play a little bit of off ball. I don't know if that's really a strength of his. But,
I don't think so because he's not much of a shooter, but we're going to see.
We'll see. But it provides a stable team around LaMelo for him to develop with.
I'm not going to lie, though. The Hornets is still so bad. I don't even want to watch ball with them, low key. Like, I'm kind of upset they got him. I wanted Ball to go to the Bulls to play with Levine.
Okay.
I wanted him to make that backcourt with Levine. But, I guess I'm going to tune in to a few games just to see how he transitions to the NBA because, he's definitely one of the more – he's like the Zion of his class right now when it comes to clout and expectations. Not expectations, but just in general, like I think we all watch Ball grow up the last few years. So everyone wants to see what he's capable of and see if he's better than Lonzo. So I definitely can't wait to see the Hornets versus Pelicans. I feel like Lonzo's going to end up having a triple-double somehow. And not somehow, he does that. So maybe. And yeah, I don't know what Jordan is doing with that team. I think it's time for him to step down. You might be the GOAT, but
that's an evergreen statement.
Yeah, Jordan, I think it's time for you to step down and go play baseball or something or make better Jordans. We need some better designs. You're not doing it, bro. Yeah, you're not doing it no more. So yeah. Otherwise, the Hornets, I don't see them making the playoffs anytime soon.
They might fight for like the 10th spot or something, maybe that, and that's enough to get into the play-in game.
Fight with the Knicks to be like the worst team in the league for now.
Chill.
But I mean, even the Knicks looking better than y'all right now, so that goes to say.
Nah, I think the Hornets look better than us. They got Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, PJ Washington, Bridges, Monk, like Gordon Hayward.
Okay,
LaMelo
maybe
Ball.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry for disrespecting y'all like that. I'm sorry.
But, the Knicks are going to be horrible this year. I have the Knicks pegged at like 12 wins for the season.
Yeah, when the Knicks got rid of Peyton, I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, that was...
Then they signed him back.
Oh, they did? Okay, good. Because
Peyton we're going to go...
Okay.
We're going to go over the Knicks. Actually, let's go to the Knicks right now, actually. So the Knicks, for the first time ever, I feel like this team has a competent front office. We did not make any stupid overpays. We didn't give anyone no long-term deals or on crazy amounts.
But y'all did get another power forward.
That's only our second power forward. Mm-hmm. Julius Randle and Obi Toppin are the only power forwards on the team.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they got rid of Taj Gibson. Yeah, it was time for him to go.
Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis, all of them, they all got waived. So it's just Julius Randle and Obi Toppin. So all the power forward jokes everybody was making, they don't make sense this year. Jokes on y'all. But yeah, drafted Obi Toppin, solid pickup, solid player, college player of the year. Had a crazy historic college season. So it was kind of like, it's kind of an obvious pick, and I felt like it was an okay pick. It wasn't my first choice of player, but I'm happy with the results regardless. But yeah, they picked up Alec Burks, 1 year, $6 million deal. Nerlens Noel, 1 year, $5 million.
Oh wait, y'all got the Knicks?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alec Burks and Nerlens?
And yeah, Nerlens Noel. They also re-picked back up Elfrid Payton. Not a fan of.
I like Elfrid.
I don't. He can't shoot. He doesn't fit next to RJ. It makes no sense.
RJ can't shoot himself.
Exactly. That's why you need someone who can shoot next to him.
Okay,
but sense. I don't like Elfrid Payton because he plays catch with Julius Randle. Him and Julius Randle just pass the ball to each other. No one else. So. Yeah. And today we signed Austin Rivers. 3 years, $10 million deal. Last 2 years are not guaranteed. I love that a lot. And the Knicks did something smart with trading. They picked up a second round pick with Ed Davis to take on his salary. And then today they flipped Ed Davis to the Timberwolves for 2 young players, Amari Spellman and Jacob Evans, and another second round pick. So
let's see what the Knicks got in. Let's see what they got.
I just hope they can trade Julius Randle, and my dream offseason will be complete for the Knicks, honestly. I just want them to let all the young guys just go out there and ball. Let's see what we got with the young pieces. So let's see what sticks, what doesn't, and then we can make some evaluations heading into next season, because next season's 2021 draft class and free agency class are super strong. So right now, Knicks are trending towards the upwards position right now. No more incompetence, no more stupid moves. So happy about that.
So for the best for the Knicks.
Last couple teams we're gonna run through. Kings, De'Aaron Fox re-ups gets that big extension as well, 5 years, goes up to $195 million with some incentives attached to it. I think that's basically the only move that they made, though, to be honest. Sacramento's going to be another team towards the bottom. Other teams like Cleveland didn't really make any moves. Orlando didn't really make any moves. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. I'm surprised those teams are not making. Then again, nobody wants to go there, so it's like, So yeah, we could probably wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, yep. That's basically all the moves. We've actually covered every single move this postseason in under 2 hours, I think. So thank you if you've been listening this long. It's been a long podcast. Hope you enjoyed our jokes, and hope you didn't take anything too serious about your favorite team, whatever team you're listening for.
Nah, we still don't like Kyle Lowry, but yeah. Go Canada.
Well, they're in Tampa now, so make sure y'all check out any links that we have in the show notes. I think we'll have some. So make sure you check those out. Make sure you follow us on social media. And that's it.